In lesson 11, we're going to come up with a formula for the surface area of a rectangular prism. Instead of having to draw out a net like we did in the previous unit or previous lessons, we're going to see if there's any patterns that we can see to come up with a formula. So we're going to fill up this table that has all the sides. I'm going to start with the front. And if this is my front, I'm going to label this as my length, my width, and my height. My front, I'm going to have to multiply my length times, in this case, my height, which is 15 times 8, and that would give me 120. Now, something I know about a rectangular prism is there's another rectangle that is going to have the same exact dimensions. The opposite side of the front is this back, which would be back here. And that's also going to be a 15 by 8. So I know that there's two of them. The area of the front and the area of the back are both going to be 120 because this is the length times the height. Again, a second time, hint, hint, there's going to be two of them. Okay. The next one I'm going to look at is this right side. This is the right side. And I'm going to be, to relabel that, doing my 6 times my 8, which is my width times my height in this case. 6 times 8, which is 48. Okay, I know that there's another one opposite right here that's going to, since it's also going to be a 6 by 8 rectangle. So that is going to be my left side, 48, which is also the width times the height because that is 6 times 8. Notice there's two of those. And then the last set that I'm going to find is the top and the bottom. So the top is up here, and I know that that's going to be my length, 15. And then I'm looking for this one here, which is going to be the 6, which is the width. Okay, so this is going to be length times width. Notice I've done length times the height. I've done the width times the height. And now I'm doing the length times the width. That's the 3 different dimensions that we can multiply together. And that is going to be my 15 times 6, which gives me 90. Now I know there's another one that's opposite it, and that is my bottom, which is down here, but it's going to have the same dimensions. It's still going to be that 15 times 6. So the length times the width, 15 times 6, would give me 90. So now there's two of those. So what I really wanted you to notice while plotting these out is that there is two of each one. In a rectangular prism, there's two rectangles opposite each other that are always going to be the same. So instead of drawing a net out and adding every single one, 90 plus 120 plus 120 plus 48 plus 48 plus 90, we're going to come up with a formula. And that formula is going to look like this. There are two of my, I'm going to say length times width first, because I did length times width twice. In this case, it was my top and my bottom. Plus, I'm going to add it together with two, let's do length times heights. And that, in this case, was the front and the back. Okay, and then the last one I did, I have two of these red ones here, which is the width times the height. So each dimension gets to get multiplied by each other. I have a length times a width, a length times a height, and then a width times the height. So if I have two length times height times widths, that would be my 90 times 2. If I have two of these, that would give me 180. 90 plus 90 is 180. I'm going to erase some stuff to get it out of the way. Then I have two of these, the length times the height. So I'm adding it together. So it's 120 and 120 gives me 240. And then these, so I'm going to add it to 48 plus 48, which is 96. Okay, when I add all of these together, I'm going to end up with, I can plug in my calculator, 516, and it's centimeters in the area, so it's squared. And that would be my answer. We're going to do one more